Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to go through 15 or so methods to book about 50 calls a month for your coaching business. Why? Because I speak to a lot of coaches every week, and there's one question I ask them that seems to stump them all the time when I ask them the question, and it's pretty simple. It's, what are you actually doing to get leads and sales calls booked for your coaching business right now? And that seems to throw up a lot of confusion for coaches, and the responses I normally get are things like, I'm posting pretty consistently and I get referrals. Okay, cool, but I'm not going to grow your business that way. It totally makes sense. You started your business to help people. Didn't start your business to be a marketing sales expert, but when you started your business, you did decide to become a business owner. And as a business owner, you should be able to generate leads and sales calls for your company, because that's how you make money. So what we're going to go through is ways that you can do that. Great, and we'll go through how you can automate as much of that as you possibly can as well. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jamie. I've built and scaled two companies in the fitness advertising, fitness marketing space over the last couple of years. One is Red Media, a advertising lead gen call booking agency for fitness businesses. And more recently, the Quality Lead Formula, which is a collection of systems and strategies that we pre-built and plug and play into coaches' businesses, so they actually have systems for their business going forward. If you want to find out more about that, there is a link to a non-bullshitty funnel underneath, and you can book a call with me and my team to figure it out for yourself a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop into the iPad and we're going to sketch out a lot of this and see where we can go. Now, bear in mind, it might be a bit messy, but we'll get through it. So let's do it this way. In the middle of your company, you have a calendar. And on this calendar, we want to book 50 appointments. Okay. So how are we going to do that? We're going to take leads and calls from a lot of different sources. Now, you can do this with just one source. You could find the perfect ad and scale that up and book 50 calls a month for your coaching business quite easily. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Before we get into it, I just want to show you a bunch of ways to do it and give you some ideas to how to implement, and then let you go and do some work. So as I said, there's no one way of doing this, but we'll start with one direction. Okay, so let's shoot up here. Let's go in here and let's speak about ads, right? Ads are going to be, they're not the simplest way until you know what you're doing. But when you know what you're doing with ads, it can be the fastest way to scale any business, to be honest. The fastest way to scale your coaching business can be through ads. But you do need to know what you're doing with them. Otherwise, it's probably one of the fastest ways to burn a bunch of cash. Okay, so ads. Let's speak about ads. So with ads, there's a bunch of different ways we can do that, and there's a bunch of different platforms, right? So we could have Facebook, we can have Instagram, we can have LinkedIn, we can have YouTube, we can have Google, we can have TikTok. All right, there's a bunch of ways of doing it, and again, no right or wrong way to do this. So we have a bunch of ways and a bunch of platforms to run ads on. Now, realistically, there's some things you don't want to do when you go down the route of running ads for a fitness business. And for me, that comes down to how you generate the call. And one of the ways you don't want to do it, because fitness is not like anything else where you can just send people to a call calendar and get them to book a call with you. There's only one or two situations where we could actually do that with people. What you don't really want to do is this. Let me bring it up here. You don't really want to have an ad. Let's say this is your ad, and you don't really want to send people from that ad to a funnel page, then to a calendar page, and hope then that you get the call booked. Why? Because there's no trust built up, there's no authority, there's no nothing. You can have a very slick funnel, you can have a very slick process, but if you send people directly to a call and they've never even heard of you before or seen you before, they're not going to know who you are, they're not going to trust you, they're not going to show up to the call. If they do show up to the call, even if they have money, they'll tell you they don't, because they don't have the trust in you yet, right? So it's not really what we want to do for fitness ads, is pull people straight over. But as I said, there is one way of doing that can work, but let's go through this, let's say one by one. So one of the ways we can do this would be DM ads. Okay, now what are DM ads? They are what they say in the tin. It's where you run ads into DMs, right? So the destination of the ad is to start a conversation with the coach in the DMs. Now, personally, I love this strategy, and we get massive return on investment for coaches with a strategy of ads into DMs. Why? Because what do you want to do in DMs? You want to communicate, you want to show problems, you want to inspire trust, you want to be a real human, and then of course you want to book a call collaboratively, because if you shine a light on a problem that the lead has, it will make sense for them to book a call if you solve that problem. Okay, so there are a couple of things that we want to do in the DMs when we run DM ads, and we can automate a lot of that by using Manychat, okay, a place to build chat robots. There's one way. Let's do another way. Let's bring this down a little bit. Another way could be follower ads, and this is to run ads to your page to get new followers. Why? Because if they follow your page, it gives you the opportunity to open up a conversation with them, right? Because you can say, thanks for liking my page, and then use a script, right? And we have bunches of scripts, but you will use a script. And if you don't have a script, I would suggest finding a script and sticking to it somewhat. You don't have to stick to any script word for word. You shouldn't, otherwise you just sound robotic. But what happens when we can actually speak to people in DMs, where we can do all of this stuff again? We can communicate, we can show problems, we can inspire trust, we can be a real human, and we can actually book a call with somebody when they think it's a good idea to book a call with you. Now, at the moment, there's one or two apps I've seen that can automate the first message to a new follower, but they're spammy, they don't seem to work very well. Keep that a manual process for now, that when someone follows you, you reach out to them. Okay, what else can we do with ads? We can do direct ads, and direct ads are basically where we do ads to funnel to calendar. As I said, it's not really what I recommend. I see a lot of coaches doing it. If you have a massive budget, you can definitely make money this way. If you don't have a massive budget, if you don't have huge amounts of followers, you need to be more savvy in how you're doing your marketing. You need to be more savvy in how you actually run your ads. But this is an option. If you have a shit hot offer, this could also work quite well. So here's what we need to have. You need to have offer, you need to have nurture system. Those things are very important to run direct ads into a cold funnel, into a call. Those are very important. But look, it's an option, right? What else do we have? Let's box these up. So maybe before I box those up, what I would say about these is they are very strong for retargeting. So if you're going to run retargeting ads, you could run them direct to funnel, because these people know you already and they know who you are and they know what you do. So it's going to be easier for you to get those people and for those people to trust you. So you could run them that way. Let's do another one. Let's do LinkedIn ads. Why? Because we're seeing massive ROIs on LinkedIn ads at the moment. Because LinkedIn's kind of cool, right? If you think about it, running ads on LinkedIn, you start off by finding your audience. So you know who you're targeting because you know what jobs they're in, what location they're in. And then you put your offer in front of them. Now, it's the same idea with Facebook and Instagram ads, but the targeting is not really as strong, right? It just isn't. So LinkedIn ads are great if you are a high ticket coach, if you are very good at sales, and if you have some form of authority of working with what everybody says they want to work with now is busy professionals. LinkedIn ads can be great for you. So with LinkedIn ads, generally what we see working quite well now is, let's do ad to a funnel, to then a qualifying form, and then a thank you page. And what happens here, what works quite well, is in between this area of generating the leads and getting them to fill a form, you'll call them, and then you will book them manually. If you're dealing with busy professionals and CEOs and stuff like that, they don't really have time to be jumping through rings, and they are the type of people that just like to get something booked if it's going to be booked. Their whole life is probably meetings. So if they fill in the form, you have about 3 minutes to call that person and get them booked in. Okay, so let's call that as 4, if not 5, because of retargeting strategies. Okay, so let's say we have LinkedIn ads, we have retargeting ads, we have direct ads to offer, we have DM ads, and we have follower ads. All right, so 5 ways of booking calls. All right, but there we go with one system. So let's see if we can put a nice little box around that. that didn't work. Let's try that again. Let's put a nice little box around that. Okay, looks all right. What we're doing, so you remember, is we are getting people to our calendar, all right? And you don't have to just do one of these things. You can run ads on multiple places, right? And all of those should be feeding into your calendar. Let's do another one. Let's bring it down here. Let's speak about what everybody hates, which is outreach. In fact, let's do cold outreach, because everybody hates cold outreach. But does it work? Yes. Should you do it? Yes. It works, it makes money. The only reason you don't do it is because it's uncomfortable, it's not fun, and you face a lot of rejection. So if you can leave your ego at the door and just do cold outreach or outsource it, it works. Now, where do you do cold outreach? So you can do cold outreach Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, probably the 3 main ones that I would suggest doing it in. And you need scripts, okay? You need scripts. And what do you not really want to do? You don't really want to do a bunch of cold outreach with no rhyme or reason to it. You don't want to do cold outreach by over qualifying everybody and only doing 10 pieces of outreach a day because you're looking to find the perfect person. And what we find works well is actually going to them with something of value first, right? So you actually have something to give them of value while you reach out to them. Lessens the blow or lessens the annoyance of you reaching out to somebody. So how do you find people to reach out to, right? It's obviously a good question. Now there is a tool that I like called Phantom Buster, and that tool will scrape leads for you. So where will it scrape them from? Scrape them from things like Facebook groups. It can scrape them from people's comments. I think it can scrape from people's likes. So if you go to a big name in the industry who's doing something like a giveaway or a promo or a new offer, and you go to all the people in the comments that are entering that, those could be good fits for you. Why? Because they're obviously looking for health and fitness. Now, obviously this person that you're scraping their leads, they need to have the followers that you would like. But that is a good way of doing it, and Phantom Buster can definitely help you with that. And look, if you're gonna be doing cold outreach, I would be saying do 35 per day per platform. Just as a rule of thumb. You can go up and down, but what you don't wanna happen is your accounts get restricted, right? You definitely don't want that to happen. So cold outreach, can you book 50 calls a month from cold outreach? Yes, but you need a lot more profiles, and you need a bunch of setters probably using their own profiles or using backup profiles that you have. So difficult, but it can be done. Okay, so we have cold outreach, now bringing in leads to the calendar as well. While we're on outreach, let's speak about another form of outreach that I quite like, which is automated outreach. Okay, so another form of booking calls, automated outreach. What is automated outreach? Automated outreach is where you use a tool to do your connecting and outreach for you. I'm laughing at my handwriting. It's hard to write on this thing. You're gonna have to follow along with me. There's 2 places we can do this generally, which would be Facebook and LinkedIn. Both of these places we have tools that can do automated outreach. With Facebook, we use Friend Connector, and with LinkedIn, we use Waalaxy. Okay, and both those will do automated outreach for you. So how does that work? With Friend Connector, we need to find groups where our target market hangs out, and we need to build scripts into the platform. And then it will reach out to people, and whoever connects back with you, it will send them an automated message. With LinkedIn, pretty much the same, right? We can scrape leads from Sales Navigator into Waalaxy, and Waalaxy will then go connect to those people and start reaching out to them for us. We have a lot of coaches making a lot of money using automated outreach on LinkedIn and booking a lot of calls, right? So with these two together, can you book 50 calls in a month? Yeah, but again, what you might want is if you have coaches using their accounts, if you have backup accounts using those accounts, to increase the amount of accounts that you can do outreach from, because you will always have a limit of outreach numbers on any of these platforms. They will limit the amount of outreach you can do. That's automated outreach. And then we have cold outreach over here on these platforms using Phantom Buster to help. Okay, I'll put links to these underneath. So that's automated outreach, putting calls in the calendar. Okay, now if you think about it, if you're just booking 1 to 2 calls, if you're booking a call a day from all of these and you have them all moving, you're already up to 50 calls a month. Next, let's do another one. What we're going to do now is talk about one more very powerful way of actually getting a lot of leads and a lot of calls and a lot of sales is competitions, right? So what we want to do with competitions is give away a chance to work with you, promote your core offer, right? There should be a reason for you to give this away. You don't want to do competitions too often, by the way. So don't do a competition every month. Don't do it every 2 months or 3 months. Make it something that you really don't do too often, because you don't want to create an audience of people that just want your free stuff. You want to run these on Facebook and Instagram. In fact, we just run ours on Instagram. And there's a couple of good things about running a competition, right? One is it brings eyes, it brings followers, it brings engagement, and it brings a lot of opportunity to book calls and make sales. How do we do that? First of all, what you should be doing is upselling the winner to a paid program after their free sessions or their free trial or their free months with you, whatever it may be. But also what we want to do is, now that we have a bunch of new followers, is we want to sell to our new followers and entrants, people that are entering your competition, right? Now, we do this completely automated and completely hands-off, and we use Manychat plus Zapier plus Sheets to do an entire competition completely hands-off, like you don't even have to touch it, and it works to get a lot of followers, a lot of competition entrants, and a lot of sales on the back end, right? So competitions can be great. So there for you now is another way to 100% book 50 calls a month. If you run a very successful competition, you can book 50 calls in a month for sure. Okay, so how are we looking now? So now let's do another one up here, and let's do something called organic launch. Okay, so this is where you want to, first of all, have a very solid core offer, because you're going to reposition your core offer for some reason. It could be the time of the year, it could be you launched a new service line, you launched a new program, whatever it may be. You want to reposition your core offer. You want to pre-launch that in DMs to anyone you've been speaking to. You want to launch it online through posts. Then you want to use scarcity and urgency to actually fill it up, okay? So organic launches, I won't go into it in too much more detail. They can actually be very powerful if you do them right, and if you have enough people in your DMs already to sell people into. This is why having ads running in the background can be so powerful, because the people you collected from ads, either as followers or as people in your DMs 3 months ago, can now come and see an organic launch and convert into your client. Okay, what else can we do? Let's do another one over here, which would be pretty simple. Referrals. Referral schemes, okay? Economics 101 is people respond to incentives. So you need to incentivize. Again, don't come for me about my handwriting on this, it's not easy, but incentivize referrals, okay? So how are you actually incentivizing referrals, and are you automating it? You can 100% automate this through Go High Level to send out referral schemes to new clients 3 months after they've been with you, or 10 weeks after they've been with you, or even shorter, after they get their first biggest win, or when they're feeling their best and they've made the most amount of progress in the shortest period of time, to incentivize a referral, okay? How do you do that? You can pay people to bring in a friend. So if you refer a friend, you get $100. You can give people credit. So if you pay people, you get your next month half price. You can incentivize the referrer and the referee, I think. So you can incentivize the person that brings a friend in, and you can incentivize the friend to come in by getting a cheaper rate if they come in through the friend. So both people will benefit, which gives you a higher chance of actually converting those people as well. And it gives a higher chance of the referee, the person, your client, bringing their friend, because both people are getting a good deal. So it's a bit of a no-brainer. If you don't have referral schemes in, you're just waiting for people to bring friends in, you're probably just missing a bit of a trick. So I would incentivize referrals and automate it through High Level if you need. Okay, that's referral schemes. Did we go through how we can automate any of these other pieces? So competitions, automated through Manychat, organic launches. Organic launch, you could do some Manychat stuff. You could Yeah, you could automate through Manychat and you can automate through High Level. All right, you could automate through both of those to get your word out to followers, to get your word out to other people. What else can we do is Facebook groups. So let's do another one here. Let's speak about Facebook groups. Sorry, let's say groups in general. Online groups, let's call it. So online groups, you will get Facebook groups and you have LinkedIn groups. Now, what we know about a group, depending on what the group is based off of, is sometimes you will have groups based on location. Sometimes you'll have group based on interests. Sometimes you'll have groups based on mutual demographics, whatever it may be. But most people within these groups on Facebook, LinkedIn should have common interests. And if you know your target market well, you should be able to find your target market's groups where they're hanging out in. Now, there's two things we can do with groups to actually get calls booked. One is we can post in the groups, but you need to be careful that it needs to be valuable and don't self-promote. Okay, because if you self-promote in a lot of these groups, they'll kick you out and then you've lost access to all these people. Okay, the good thing about groups is somebody else has gone through all the pain and the time and probably the money of putting these groups together, and you can now go and take calls from there and take clients from there. So use storytelling. Make sure it's valuable, and if it's valuable enough and if you tell a good enough story, people will then reach out to you and then you can book calls with those people. Okay, another thing we can do is we can scrape leads. Now, what I should say is this posting in groups, valuable self-promotion storytelling, that's more of a Facebook thing that you need to be aware of. Okay, scraping leads can be done using Phantom Buster to scrape the leads. We can post in these groups and we can do outreach in these groups. We can do it manually, and with Facebook groups we can use Friend Connector to automatically reach out to people in these groups. Okay, so two systems we have there of booking calls will be outreach in groups and posting in groups to actually book calls with people. Okay, very quick and simple one there. Put a nice little box around here. We're running out of space. Try that again. So let's do one more. I'm not exactly sure of where we're at in terms of numbers, but let's do another one that we can do to book calls, and let's group them together, which would be email and SMS. If you have an email list and if you have a good enough offer, if you have a good enough email sequence, you can obviously book calls. And if you have a list of past clients or people that sign up for lead magnets or anything else like that, you can do an email and SMS blast. With email and SMS blast, what you need to make sure is that it is as easy as possible to show interest. Okay, because if it's difficult and you have to respond to this text message and tell me why you want to be part of this, all this bullshit, no one's going to do it. Okay, and then obviously you can have general kind of email sequences built out over time as well to book calls. Okay, so let's count up how many we have. So we've email and SMS, let's call that 2. Outreach, let's call online groups 1, so that's 3. Referral schemes is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ways of running ads, which is 9. Cold outreach is 10. Automate outreach 11. Competitions 12. Organic launch 13. Let's do one more, so we're probably up to about 14, depending on if you want to call automated outreach on Facebook, LinkedIn too. You have good old content. All right, the thing that everybody does and the thing that I left until last is content. All you want to do with your content is be authentic and create conversations. Okay, obviously you can automate a lot of the messages from there, but with your content, what you want to be doing is bringing people into DMs, because again, that's where you can do all the stuff that we said at the very start, which is communicate, show problems, inspire trust, be a real human, and actually book calls. Look, you can obviously automate a lot of your content through scheduling platforms, through hiring a VA to do it for you, hire an agency to do it for you if you want. There's a lot of stuff you can do. But be authentic, create conversations, and then through the conversations, you're going to book calls. Okay, that is it, to be honest. If you like this video, I would massively appreciate a subscription, because I'm trying to grow the channel. And the only way I can see doing that properly is to give as much value as I possibly can to people for free. That is the plan of this channel. It's a no flex, no fluff type channel where we actually try and help coaches grow their business for free. And then at some point when they actually want to work with us, there's always a link underneath here to my funnel to book a call with us if you want these kind of things pre-built for you and plug and play type situations with everything already proven. You can click the link below, and until then, I hope that was useful. See you in the next video.